Hey, Skull. I try to be punctual anyway. This is also John Bellion. It's called Ungrateful Eyes. What's up, sis?
Ungrateful eyes.
I do have command signs if you've never been here before.
Where the stars came from, but do we ever stop to watch them shine? All we wanna know is where the stars came from, but do we ever stop to watch?
Hey, Pixie! How's everyone doing? It's so weird when Skull calls Pixie Dara because I'm not used to, like, calling her by her name. How's everyone doing? Sorry for my squeaky chair, as always. My chair squeaks a lot. Is everyone having a good weekend, at least? I know Sis has been sick, so I don't know if she'll say that she's had a good weekend. Right? I'm pretty sure that's true. He likes to call people by their first name, except for me, apparently, because, I don't know. He calls everyone else by their first names. If you've never been to my streams before, Saturdays are prompt days. We discuss various writing prompts. The first time I did them a couple weeks ago, I used some from, like, Tumblr, I think. Yeah, I don't remember. It was a post that my brother had shared. And then all of them since then, my name is Sis. Your name's not that bad. It's true. He calls certain people by their first names and then, like, other people not. So he's awesome though. We like him. The last several prompt days we've done, a lot of them actually have come from my husband. He gets bored at work and comes up with prompts, or from Skull's stream. Skull's stream is very good for random prompts. So kind of the more weird out there ones are probably from Skull. And then Nick is also contributing here and there for some things. He came up with a few. Nick is also known as Cold Hard Gameplay. I don't know if we'll see him in chat today. He's actually streaming right now. What My vagina name was Penelope. Sis. Um, so basically, like all we do on prompt day is just I'll put the prompts up on screen and we'll discuss them, like what you could do with them, what kind of stories you could write, and things. My hair is driving me nuts because it keeps like sticking out. I got a haircut on Thursday, and like now it's just like poofy in weird places. um, so we'll discuss each prompt, and when it seems like we've kind of run out of ideas or whatever, I'll move on to the next one. We usually do 15 to 20 of them, I think. What do I have today? I have I thought I had more than this. Maybe I only do have 11 today. Yeah, I have 11 today, but the last like 3 are more like legends that we'll discuss that I've always found really interesting, and there are some YouTubers I watch that do a lot of like scary, spooky videos all the time, and they've discussed these topics quite a bit, or shared stories of these topics quite a bit. So I thought that was going to be a fun way to kind of end the stream, is to talk about some legends and interesting stuff. So, the Great Unicorn War. Scary, spooky skeletons, right? Tomorrow we're actually going to try to write a scary story live on stream. Nick came up with that idea, and Skull's been kind of tossing around some ideas with me on how to do it and what kind of topics and stuff. So maybe some of these spooky ones today will give us some ideas on how to do that. So yeah, we will go ahead and get started here. And I haven't prepared as much for today's stream as I usually do, because usually I'll read through them and like kind of get my own ideas, but I worked a lot this week, so I didn't have as much time to prep and I was tired. So our first prompt is, he's behind the boxes. So we like bones. Pixie. This one could be kind of interesting in a lot of different ways. You could go maybe the paranormal route. Maybe it's a ghost hiding behind the boxes, or in light of Halloween coming up, maybe it's a vampire or a werewolf hiding, lurking, watching its prey. I think this was from Skull's stream, so I think originally it was probably from that was my phone falling over. Don't mind that sound. Box Trolls, right? I think it was probably while Skull was playing Dead Space, maybe? One of the Dead Space games? Hey Glenn, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. What else? What do you guys think? Glenn, right? Glenn with 2 N's. Troll, dungeon, right? Harry Potter. So I don't know, this one, maybe it's a corpse behind the boxes. Ooh, that could be. Like maybe they discovered the body and are like telling someone, hey, he's behind the boxes, kind of thing. Or necromorph. Yep. I went with small child, but yeah, I mean, it could be a kid too. Like maybe the kid is scared and hiding. I'm good, Glenn. Thanks for asking. necromorph numbing on a corpse. We've all been in school stream too much. we watched him play all 3 of the Dead Space games. So necromorphs come up quite often. Sis is on a roll with the necromorphs. Those are good games, by the way, if you guys haven't played. Can't escape the necromorphs, right? Well, poor Pixie doesn't do scary games very well. So I mean, there's some different ways you could go with this one, but it would kind of depend on what kind of story you wanted to tell, whether it was going to be a crime drama or like a paranormal or some sort of out there type thing. Right? There you go. Maybe it's Scythe's fault. We'll blame Scythe, right? Beats the necromorph off. Keep away with you, Bill. Nice. Everyone protect Pixie. Protect Pixie from the scary things. Of course. Of course we protect Pixie. Alright, we'll go on to the next one then. Dwells too long on beats necromorphs off Dixon. You would, Skull. You would. I am a delicate feminine flower. This is true, Pixie. The next prompt is, I thought nothing could frighten me. I had no idea how wrong I was. I had pepper spray, guys. I got this. Pepper spray totally works on necromorphs, right? So this one's pretty open. You could, I don't know, you could go with a lot of things. Like, seriously, just take your pick of phobias and run with it, basically. Or even, that's right. Totally solves it. Besides phobias, I mean, there's all sorts of creatures you could go with. Even just the usual, Glenn. Be careful what you say around Skull. Balloons, hearts, flowers, feelings. All terrifying, right? Pixie goes for the warm and fuzzy things. Sounds like a topic that belongs in a Daredevil comic. Maybe. I mean, yeah, you could go with other things like blindness or deafness, becoming mute. There's all sorts of things. Being in a coma, but maybe being aware of your surroundings, which is actually a medical theory, is that people in comas are actually still even subconsciously aware of their surroundings. The stream is also really good for drawing prompts. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Pixie. I did do some painting over the weekend. Well, I guess I shouldn't say weekend. Yes, last night and Thursday night. I did some painting that I put a picture up on my Twitter. Just some little wood chips that I had and I painted. But yeah, this could go a lot of different ways, and I feel like sometimes some of the prompts are so broad you can't do anything with them. But this one I think really, like, it's broad enough that you can do a lot of things with it, but it's not too broad where you go, what am I supposed to do with this? Thanks, Skull. For those of you that are wondering what Skull is talking about, 1 second here. I will, oh, don't ding at me, XSplit. I'll show you guys. This is Skull's magnet. And then Waffles magnet and Nick's magnet. They're just wood chips, but I'm gonna put a you're always wondering what I'm talking about, right? I'm gonna put a magnet on the back of these and give them to them. I wasn't afraid of anything, but then I ate a taco at a gas station. Good one, Glenn. Yeah, I mean, I basically just pulled up their stream logos and kind of freehanded the logos, and then painted them. So yeah, some of the ones I did the last few nights are smaller by comparison, for size comparison, smaller. But yeah, I just have a bunch of little things that'll get little magnetic circles glued onto the back of them, and yeah. I still have this whole bag of even smaller ones to do something with. I don't know yet. But I've been in a painting mood lately, so I've been trying to paint. But we will switch back to the prompts now. But yeah, this one, like I said, you could go with a lot of things, like all of the phobias that are out there. I personally have a fear of heights. Spiders are kind of a sort of, but not really. Not necessarily a phobia, but I don't like spiders. Yeah, I think that's mostly it for my fears, anyway, that I know of. But yeah, you could also explore like the creature aspect. So again, going Halloween style, you got vampires and werewolves and all sorts of creatures out there that you could do with. That could be really fun. Alright, we'll go on to the next one. As far as anyone else could see, they were perfectly normal. Maybe they're stepping into a sensory deprivation chamber and they're finding out nothingness isn't so bad. That could be Skull. I've actually never done sensory deprivation myself, but I always thought nothing could hurt me. There it was, standing there, that little girl, but she wasn't there, right? She was dead. I killed her. Ooh, I like that one, sis. And like sis just did, if I ever move on from a prompt, but you like want to say something more about the one that we were on, just quote it like that, and then give your idea, and I'll totally come back to it. Trust me, we bounce around plenty. That's an interesting one. I like that. Because, I mean, it wouldn't even have to be a little girl. You could do, put anybody in there, basically. Any kind of victim. And that, now you're haunted by what you did. And it terrifies you. Like you're going crazy. Kind of like Telltale Heart style. It could be anything or anyone. Yeah, exactly. If you've not read Edgar Allan Poe's A Telltale Heart, I highly recommend it. It's a very short one, but it's a very good one. Where basically this guy murders somebody and thinks he's gonna get away with it. And basically buries the guy in his floorboards. And while nobody, like, suspects him. So, like, his mind is playing tricks on him. He thinks he hears the beating of the heart and, like, gets paranoid, and so he thinks every time somebody's over, they're hearing the heartbeat like he is, and he basically ends up giving himself away. Or it was never a little girl at all. Ooh, even better, Pixie. Like it. Yes. You could totally, maybe it just took the form of a little girl. Maybe it wasn't a little girl at all. Good, good. Telltale Boner would be harder. Floorboards wouldn't stay there. Skull. Well, we can all tell where Skull's mind is today, as usual. Sorry, my cup is, like, making my desk all wet. Put my cup up. Skull is on a roll with the dirty things today. Goodness. Alright. As far as everyone else could see, they were perfectly normal. So, I guess it depends on... I'm trying to go get coffee. Yes, go get coffee, sis. Unless I die. You're not gonna die. Go get coffee. I guess this one depends on which perspective you're taking. Like, does everyone think they're perfectly normal? As in, like, everyone is perfectly normal? Or is it that everyone else thinks someone else is perfectly normal, but you're seeing them as unusual or abnormal in some way? So that could be an interesting one as well. I am perfectly normal. No, you're not, Pixie, but we love you anyway, because none of us here are normal. We're all a little crazy. But really, the best minds are. So, misshapen body parts that come in pairs. I shouldn't laugh at that, that's horrible. But they were dead, trapped in a world of death. Oh. That could be. This one, I don't know, this one's a little different, because for me, I would say that I personally would write the story from the standpoint that everyone else thinks this person or these people are normal, but you know they aren't. And that maybe you're trying to convince everyone else that they aren't. Trying to prove what you know, basically. Because then you get to explore the aspects of, like, frustration and either eventual vindication or ridicule, to where your story ends with them not being able to prove it, that they just give up or something. What else could you do with this one? If you went the other route of everyone thinks that everyone is normal, then you kind of explore a society where such a thing is possible. And what kind of society would you have then, if everyone was considered normal? How would you define normal or abnormal? Which could go kind of interesting as well. And that's really the beauty of fiction. Mine drifted to the Boston bombings and the backpacks they left. Yeah. That would be a possibility too. of a sleeper cell that seems normal, and then they become an active cell, and things like the Boston bombings happen. Um, I mean, you hear it plenty of times on the news where something happens like that, some sort of tragedy happens, and everyone goes, "Oh, but we thought they were so normal. They seemed so normal." So, I mean, not even just a mass tragedy, but just somebody who committed a crime who didn't seem like they would be the type. Um, so there's that possibility too that you could go. So there's three possibilities at least that we've come up with then. Um, he was such a nice man, a quiet man, never too busy to say hello. Exactly, Pixie. That kind of thing where they seem so normal, but then you find out they've done such a horrendous thing. So yeah, you could go that route too, which would also give an interesting perspective, because I personally like to kind of hop point of views. So like I'll have my main characters, but then like I'll switch to some of the minor or supporting characters, and then well, how does this person view the main character kind of thing. So I think you could really also explore the psychology then behind the person kind of thing. Evil seldom wears its dark intent for all to see. Yes. Yes, Glenn. That is very true. Synthetic humans. Ooh. Yeah, you could go with that. Definitely. You could definitely go synthetic humans. Cyborgs or robots or something. Yeah. Yeah, maybe somebody perfected how to get a robot to mimic humans. And that's, like you pick up on the very subtle differences, but nobody else does kind of thing. Yeah. That could be a good one. I like it. No one can tell the difference, right? Or maybe you tell that kind of story from the synthetic humans point of view, where they're how they go about keeping up their appearances as human, and how they seem perfectly normal. Like what do they do to achieve this and blend in and everything. So that could get really interesting too. Because then that's kind of a tale about trying to fit in a little bit, maybe. So yeah, you can do that, definitely. I like that idea. Excuse me. Alright, next one. As I sat covered in blood, I could only think how innocently it all started. Like, your friend is in a terrible accident, and when he is released from the hospital, you are the only one who can tell that something is off. Yes, sis, absolutely. Yes, I nubs when I type fast. Oh, I totally nubs too, it's okay. Hey, Alpha! How's it going? Good seeing you. So this one, it doesn't say whether it's your own blood or not, so you could go a couple of different ways, really. Again, that if it's someone else's blood, were you responsible, or were you just kind of a bystander, and then you go working from that point of view. You write the story of somebody who is maybe not at fault for all of the events, but a witness to all of the events that lead up to this, and you're kind of like, kind of trying to, either stop it or, you don't have the courage to stop it. And so you can kind of explore that side of things. Hang on, guys. I think somebody's at my door. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. A Boy Scout troop in the area is apparently selling Christmas wreaths, door to door. My head is killing me. I'm gonna head to the ER after work. Oh, Alpha, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better. This prompt instantly made me think Dexter, right? Who doesn't think Dexter? In the shipyard. Dexter's laboratory? No. Hey, David, no. We've only gone through a couple of them. So, no, you're good. I actually, had to step away for a second. Just now. So you really haven't missed much. So like I said, this one, if you were going the route of it's not your own blood, are you the bystander or did you cause it? And we talked a little bit about, being the bystander. You sis. Sis is giving David shit. Me vampire, me hungry for blood, right, Glenn? Because then if you're the one that caused it, what were the circumstances? Were you a vampire like Glenn? Or were you a murderer? Or was it another thing that was kind of one of those, like it says, how innocently it all started, could apply to the first event was, super innocent, but then event after event just snowballs to lead to whatever you did kind of thing. Which could also be really interesting to explore of, what kind of series of events will lead to somebody doing X thing, either murdering somebody or attacking somebody or robbing a bank, whatever, outside the means of being covered in blood. What are a person's circumstances that would lead to such a thing? We just won't make you walk the streets naked, right? That's a Game of Thrones reference for anybody that's not getting it. And then, if it's your own blood, then maybe this is the end of the story. You would put it in towards the beginning, and then the rest of the story would just be retelling everything that led up to it. And so then in the end, you're telling, you're telling your story, and then in the end, you're lying there, maybe you're dying or something. Skull, thank you for the host. And so it would end, it wouldn't have a happy ending, but not every story does. You convinced someone to come do something with you, and they were reluctant, but came with you anyways. There is a terrible accident, and they are horrifically killed, and you're covered in their blood, thinking it didn't start out this way, and they are dead because you made them come with you. Right? Totally, sis. That's totally a possibility too. Because that's one of those super innocent things. And speaking of scary YouTubers earlier, one of the videos I watched earlier this week was usually they get permission to read people's stories off of Reddit. This one was talking about how after the Reddit user had shared a story with their grandma, like, details could be worked on, but basic premise that could make it... Oh, yeah, that could totally make a good story. So this Reddit user told her grandma this story, and her grandma in turn shared another story of battlefield, of how when her grandma was, younger and in their, early 20s, late teens, what channel? I don't remember which channel it's on now. I want to say it was Southern Cannibal, but I'm not positive on that one. I love you guys. But so the grandmother's story was the grandmother is very, like, paranoid by nature, and she went out with a friend, and they were going to this bar that they knew, and the grandma didn't drink very much, but the friend got totally wasted, and these two guys came up to them. The grandmother was just very, I don't know, just felt something was off with these gentlemen. And the friend, though, was like, oh, it's okay, I know these guys, they're great, let's go with them. And the guys are like, yeah, come over to our house, we have this huge house, and we can party there, there'll be lots of other people there, it'll be a great time, kind of thing. And the grandmother just very much did not want to go with, but her friend wanted to, and they finally, she finally convinced her to go, and so they go. And it's kind of in a remote area, but the guys weren't lying, it's a big house. And one of the men was just trying to be very handsy with the grandma, and it really kind of put her on edge even more. So as they were making their way through the house, she noticed that one of the rooms they passed by had only a mattress in it, nothing else. Just a mattress on the floor, and what looked like dried blood stains on it. And so that freaked her out even more. And as she notices that, one of the guys is unlocking a door, and well, the grandma is younger. This is in her younger days. It's not an old lady. Stop it. Alpha, you're terrible. But so so as the guy's unlocking the door and the door starts to open, she sees through the crack of the door that there are all of these scantily clad women in this room that he's opening up, with men, and, it's clearly a brothel or some sort of that kind of place. And so the Reddit user's grandma freaks out and tries to run off, and in the process, her friend gets shoved into that room, and the door is locked on her, and she runs away. And so the grandma gets away, but she never sees her friend again. And she's always kind of wondered what happened to her friend, because it was clearly kind of a sex trafficking type of thing. Let's see. What have I missed now in telling this? Mario Kart. Don't play Mario Kart with Skull. Or like SAO, you're in a VR game and it gets rigged so that you actually die IRL, yeah. Then you find out only one player can escape and it becomes a bloodbath. But it just started as a game, you murder countless people, right? Like, David, those are fighting words. Oh yeah, I love SAO. Are you kidding me? Um, One of the cabins I rented a few months ago had blood on the pillow. It was right. That would be super unsettling. Oh, that could make an interesting prompt. I love it when you guys do this. Maybe it's something like hostile. Ooh, that could be. Hostile in the House have eyes. Two players I can't watch, right? Sorry, I wanted to write that down because what Glenn said kind of like triggered a prompt for me that I wanted to write down that we'll probably use in a later stream. With credit given, of course, I always give credit to the people who come up with them. So, and the Saw movies, yeah, I don't do the Saw movies either. But yeah, so yeah, I like those ideas. The virtual reality one is definitely an interesting one. Oh, that is freaky, Glenn. Seriously. He had changed the pillowcase the day before, but it was still there? Oh, yeah, I would nope out of there, too. Hey, Captain, what's up? You're not missing anything, trust me. Yeah, no, that's crazy. Hey, Swaggy, what's up? Welcome back, and welcome to anybody who's lurking or first-time viewers. Today is prompt day. Hang on, shut my door. So we're just discussing writing prompts. And Glenn just gave me some really interesting ones. Absolutely, Swaggy. You know I take questions. Come on. What's up? Okay, Pixie. Lurking is bae, right? I have some regulars that I see in the viewer list that don't ever talk. It's all good. I want food. Let's see what Swaggy's question is. So how do you write a person that can copy powers? So you're talking like Rogue from X-Men. I guess, like, I always start with a backstory. So I would start with how did they get that power? What extent does it go to? Like, Do they have that power forever until they get another one? That's kind of a tough one. I'm reading chat. Sorry, guys. That one would be difficult. Because you wanna make sure you know their limits. So I would start with that. Is there a time limit to how long they can have these powers before they revert back to themselves? How do they copy the powers? Like, can they do it just by seeing the person? Or is it like Rogue where you have to touch them? What kind of effect does their power have on the person they're copying and that kind of thing? So those would be my suggestions, to start with those. Sis is trolling me on Facebook. Hang on, I gotta turn off the Facebook notifications. I usually turn them off before stream starts. Google reviews said all kinds of stuff had happened in that area with others, like windows being scraped during the night by what sounds like nails. Oh my god, Glenn, I would say that place is freaking haunted then. Like, what the fuck? You imagine another less scrupulous writer, and then pour your hatred, malice, and will to dominate all life into the character. Nice, Skull. Very nice. Alpha, go for it. I am totally open to suggestions on anything, honestly. Copying powers affects their mental and physical stability. Ooh, that could be. This is definitely the right chat to come to ask things like that, Swaggy. He's a weaver. So yeah, that could get interesting. Or was Daylight your suggestion, Alpha? Oh, that was for school. A horror game named Daylight. Gotcha. Just if he's browsing for the next scare factor, right? That almost was a gaming joke, though, because gamers and Daylight. What about Peter from the show Heroes? Oh, yeah. That could be. He's talking about Peter Petrelli and Sylar, yeah. Sylar had a different... Both of those characters have almost the same ability, but they acquire them in different ways. Peter got his by touching people, and could have that single power until he took another one, basically, and had no effect on the person he was taking them from. Sylar, on the other hand, was a serial killer, and his original power, he didn't eat the brains. His original power was knowing how things work. Mostly, it started with clocks, and then, he could hear... The way they showed it in the show was that he could hear people's brains ticking, and knew how to They never said he ate the brains, guys. He did open their heads though. And could see, he could see how people's brains worked, and that's how he acquired their power, was by killing them. Yeah, he never ate them, guys. They never said that he ate them. No, he did not eat the brains. But yeah, he murdered people in figuring out how their powers worked. So there's that. So I mean, you could go those routes too, if you wanted to. I wonder if he analyzed their moves and used against them. You could add that into the power, sure, but that wasn't something Siler or Peter did. He could acquire powers through empathy. It just took longer. Yes. There was a point in the show where I think somebody else was trying to show him that he could do it without killing. But by that point, he enjoyed the killing too much. Press fava beans. Oh, no, that sound is so gross. I know exactly which sound you guys are talking about, too. It's terrible. Like Kakashi from Naruto. Sharingan is a little different, I think. But she could go that route too. I mean, of watching them and learning it that way. The copycat ninja, Kakashi, and his Sharingan. You could do that as well. The movie Hannibal, he eats the kid's brains. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways you could go about it. I mean, it just depends on what fits your story best. But yeah, those are some good things to think about. And yeah. Yeah. Like I said, this is a good place to discuss that kind of thing, because you're gonna get a lot of different suggestions. Swaggy, remind me. I'm gonna write this down actually. I'll get you a link to my Discord, so that you have more access to this kind of thing. Because I am like constantly on Discord when I'm not at work. So I will get you a Discord invite, so that you can ask questions more often. Let's see. So I think we've pretty well covered this one. Or Sis might be able to do it. Sis or Skull might be able to, since they're my admins. They might be able to get you an invite to the channel. So yeah, Sis or Skull, if one of you can do that, let me know if you can't. Yeah. Pixie's got a good point there. Make sure you have some sort of nerf to that, some sort of counterbalance. Because, yeah, you don't want that. Yeah, Skull, go ahead and send him an invite link then. Yeah, because, exactly, Swaggy, like, your nerf is going to be like the time limit or the effect it has on them or the person they're copying and that kind of thing. So yeah, you just want to make sure you have some sort of balance. So glad I think I was in the process. Okay, as long as somebody gets him the invite, it's all good. So the next prompt kind of made me laugh a little bit at first. It's not generating the link. All right. All right. 1 second. I'm going to. We'll switch. Let me open Discord and get the link for him. It should have. I thought I had admin set to do that. Lyrics with murder. Sorry if the stream lags a little bit while I'm doing this. I usually have Discord closed. Because it tends to eat my usage at times. So give me a second, Swaggy, and I'll get you a link. And I'll fix that so that it lets Skull and Sis do it. Not generating for me. Okay. Yeah, let me... now I have to remember how to do that. Server settings. Members. Student invites. Oops. Admin. No, it should. You guys should be able to create an instant invite. It says it's set for you guys to do that. So, I don't know why. I don't know why it won't let you. That's weird. Okay. Well, let me get the link. Hang on. Invite people. There you go. I whispered it to you, Swaggy. It just keeps loading? That's weird. Because, I mean, you should have just been able to, like, click and done kind of thing. Like, for me it said hidden use copy button, so... Constant load wheel, so I think it's just Discord. Okay. Well, it's taken care of, so it's all good. He's got it. That link is only good for a little while, though, so, like, the sooner, the better. Alright. So, my wrist gets weird. I've never had it crash on me. So I don't know about that. But yeah, so there's the Discord link, and okay, well, let's get back to the prompts. Whoops. Red fur, blue fur. It didn't matter. They were all equally vicious. So this one, my husband said, he kind of imagined originally like really cute, like fluffy creatures that like you wouldn't expect to be vicious. um, and like that's, you know, that's how they were, able to attack or whatever, is because they were unassuming kind of thing. So you could go that route of where whatever it is, has a cute exterior, but ends up being really not, really murderous. Or you could still go with prompt spelling error. Do I have a spelling error? Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. uh, nice catch, guys. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's supposed to say vicious. Usually my spelling is much better. How? Whatever. Usually it also catches that, but it's also another word, so whatever. Furby invasion. Killer bunnies, yeah! Sounds like a racist sounding thing, like it didn't matter, they're all evil. Racist killer bunnies. Pokemon! And there's the Pokemon. We already had Harambe, now we have Pokemon. The stream is complete. I mean, yeah, you could go all sorts of different ways. It does bring to mind Monty Python and that the killer bunny from Monty Python. Furries. Oh my god. I was wondering if somebody would go the furry route. For those of you that somehow don't know what a furry with a capital F is, it is people who enjoy dressing as animals. Like the mascot suits that you see, like for baseball teams or whatever, but like animals, that kind of thing. Yeah. Some people just like it, some people get off on it, etc. But whatever. Yeah. So you could go that route. I don't know if I would go the furries route though. But I like the bunnies idea. That could be interesting. Or you could even, put in other colors than red and blue. What other furry creatures could there be? I mean, you could pick almost any earthly creature. Or, like somebody else said, future invasion. Maybe it's an invasion. I know someone who made a fursuit for a dragon that cost over $1,000. Holy cow! I don't even. Ugh, that's ridiculous. But yeah, you could create your own creature here, and have it be an invasion from outer space kind of thing. Oh, I was expecting a furry 50s detective novel. Oh, Glenn. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. You can go that route. It would be interesting. I don't even know if there are any novels of the furry type. Very, very hairy human. Maybe. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. That could be interesting. Whale invasion. Well, I mean, we do have blue whales, so why not red whales? You just thinking about that grosses me out, right? um, what about Attack of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space? I don't like clowns. Clowns freak me out. I've never liked clowns. Um, yeah. So I'll pass on the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Um, Sweaty hair, yuck, right? Um, so yeah, I mean, you could have some pretty fun, you could have some pretty fun times just, creating character, I was waiting for Sis to do something with that typo. Um, like I said, you could really have some fun creating your own creatures for this, and kind of seeing what you could do with that. I'm sure I do. uh, and this is what my chat usually devolves into. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Um, we'll move on to the next one here. There are people on the rooftops. Swaggy just called Sis big. If you only knew how tiny Sis is. This one was never big. Softly Whispers, do it to the people. I think this was from Skull's stream too. It originally just said there are people on the roofs. But this one could get really creepy too. Like, is it a horror or a thriller where you're home alone and someone's trying to break in? Or is it like a dystopian society where there's gunmen on top? Like a military state where there are guards on the roof? You could be spray painting them with letters and throwing them off to spell a word. That could be. Spider-Man, right? Maybe they're heroes. Maybe they're not villains. I think most people would go with villains, though. Are they the kind of people that annoy someone while they're playing their new Nintendo Switch, right? Chimney sweeps. Time. Yeah, maybe they are chimney sweeps. Natural disaster or zombies, get on that roof, right? Vigilante, I think, is what you're going for, Swaggy. Well, they can't go on the ground anymore, not after they came. Ooh. Pixie, I am writing that down as a prompt. Yeah, now it's all sticky at school. You are wonderful human being. I don't care what anyone else says. Oh, you guys. Thanks. And wait, what? What else do they say? We love you, Skull. um, so, I mean, there's a lot of different interesting routes that you could go with this one. You could go, the dystopian or apocalypse side where it's dangerous to be on the ground. Or well, for the apocalypse side. For the dystopian side, maybe you're being, the whole city's being watched, and, maybe they're up there to enforce a curfew or something. What else? Maybe like Pixie said, the ground's not safe. And you've gotta stay up on the roofs to survive. What else? Don't mind me, but I'm gonna steal these. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. They're forced to be up there. If you don't do what the Overlord says, he makes your family jump. Panda and Skull and furries. Combine all those things. Panda, furry, and skull. I don't think anyone wants me to write a story about a furry skull. I'm a skull. How the hell? Mold. It's a moldy skull. Glue. You guys crack me up. Chia Pet engaged. Right? I'm hungry, gonna write a story about a donut. There you go. Pixie, we're gonna kidnap Skull, okay? Oh god, now my chat is going to kidnap somebody. And make him a furry. Is he gonna be a panda furry? Because it's gotta be a panda furry, right? Who's texting me? I can't look at that. Whoever's texting me. I think it's Drew. Next one. After they killed everyone else, I asked, "Aren't you going to kill me too?" They said, "No. We need to leave someone alive to tell what we have done here." So this one could also go back to the whole alien invasion. Or maybe a group of people were taken and or some place was taken over and they had to set an example and they left you alive to be the messenger to other places. Hey Barry, what's up? How's it going? Welcome. Sounds like a lot of crime drama movies, right? Where you're kidnapped or whatever, and something's done in front of you, and you're left to spread the word, basically. Or you could go the route that maybe go the biological warfare route where you're infected and they killed everyone that was infected and they left you to tell what they had done, kind of thing, or maybe you're immune and they left you to tell why you're the only one still alive, kind of thing. I'm good, Barry. How are you? Good to see ya. I love these. Yeah? Held as ransom, kill them, left you alive. That could be. yeah, maybe they got their ransom uh, and so they left you alive. How many people does it take to deliver a message? Only one, right? Exactly. It only takes one. So I'm just gonna keep calling you Big now. Stop. um, but yeah, I mean, there's some different routes you could go with these. I think maybe I would go for like the kind of the disease biological type one. Barry, thank you for the host. Um, I'm too lazy to add the full name. Just go with cis. Same number of letters as Big. Um, I think I would go the biological route where you were immune, like maybe you were the only one immune to whatever disease these people were testing or whatever, and um and so they wiped out everyone else, and you're the lone survivor left to tell about what happened. Ooh, excuse me. So that could be interesting as well. Uh, we'll go on to the next. Okay, so that's the end of the prompts. Um, um, so a lot of the channels, the YouTubers that I watch, have done stories on black-eyed children and the legend of black-eyed children, where usually around Halloween, but not always, it can be any time of year that you hear a knock at your door, or your doorbell rings, and as you go to open it, you feel this overwhelming sense of dread and just this primal fear, and you look out like the peephole or something, and or a window or whatever, and you see children standing there. Two. It's almost always two children, one or two, but it's usually two. And it's usually either two boys or a boy and a girl, and they give themselves away by dressing oddly for the time of year and behaving oddly. They don't behave like normal children, and they will ask to come inside, to call a parent, or oh no, Pixie, black-eyed as in their eyes are black, not as in they have black eyes, like they've been punched. Um, Skull, you're terrible. But they always, ask to come inside. And if you take too long, they will try to open your door. And you'll always be like, no, because you'll feel that fear. Like, that's the common thing among all of the stories, is that you feel that fear of what would happen. Hang on, guys, I gotta take this call. Okay, no, I did not need to take that call. Telemarketers. So, that fear is gonna, keeps you from opening the door, basically, usually. But when you say no to them, they become very insistent, and they will try to come in. And there was one story that I listened to the other day where this lady always goes all out for Halloween, and she had this happen one year where it was pretty late at night. All the trick-or-treaters should be gone and everything, and the doorbell rings. And they realize, well, they didn't turn off their light and everything, so, I mean, some stragglers late at night could still happen. So she had a tradition of taking a Polaroid picture of every kid that came to her door, and then the school made a big collage to show everybody in their costumes and everything. And so she grabs her camera and she starts to go open the door, and the kids on the other side, she doesn't know that they're black-eyed children yet. She just assumes they're teenagers. And so she hears her doorknob start to jiggle, like they're trying to come in. And then the fear hits her. And she's like, oh my God, there's something not right. And then she looks at the bottom of her door where there should be shadows from the people there, kind of thing. And there are no shadows whatsoever. And she looks out, and there's a boy and a girl. And she can see how black their eyes are. And it's not just like the light makes them look that way. Like if you have really dark brown eyes, at just the right angle or whatever, your eyes might look black instead of brown. I will have to check that, Glenn. That's awesome, though. Good timing for it, eh? That's hilarious. Tweeted that out 10 minutes ago. Nice, Skull. Thanks, Skull, thanks. But so she decided to open the door and snap the picture. And so she threw the door open, snaps the picture, and the children screamed like this unearthly howl. And she fell over and blacked out for like a minute. And when she woke up, the kids were gone, but her neighbor was still there. And, or her neighbor was there. Her neighbor had come over to check on her. And she looked at the picture, and there were no children in the picture, but on the back of it was written her neighbor's address and the message, next year. And the picture was not of her house, but her neighbor's house, which implied that the black-eyed children would be making a visit to the neighbor's house the next year. And so she decided that the next year she would not give out hand out candy, but spend the night with her neighbor to keep her neighbor safe. To answer Swaggy's question, I don't know if they do or not. There's no stories that tell what has happened to anybody that has let in the black-eyed children. It's always stories of just very narrowly missing, letting them in, like briefly, not letting them in, kind of thing. Or not briefly. I don't know where I was going with that sentence. Wow. But just, managing to not let them in, basically. Barely managing to not let them in.